All right, everyone. In today's session, we're going to dive into a really critical challenge, one that sits right at the intersection of technology and society. We're building these incredible AI technologies that are changing our world at lightning speed. But the big question is, are we wise enough to actually control them? We're going to explore this growing gap between what AI can do and what it should do.
So, let's just start with the central question right up front. Is AI's progress outpacing our wisdom? Now, this isn't just some philosophical thought experiment. This is, without a doubt, one of the most urgent, practical concerns of our time. You see, we're witnessing this absolute explosion in AI capabilities, but are our laws, our ethics, our social norms, are they keeping up? The truth is, we're building the future faster than we ever have before, and we have to stop and ask ourselves, are we really ready for the consequences?
And to really get to the heart of that question, we first need to understand a key concept that researchers have identified. They call it the ethics gap. Now, I want you to think of this as more than just a simple delay. It's a deep structural divide between how fast technology moves and how slowly we, as a society, decide how to govern it. Let's break down what that really means.
This right here, this definition, really lays out the core of the problem. The ethics gap is this widening chasm. On one side, you've got AI advancing exponentially. Its power is literally doubling at this dizzying pace. And on the other side, you have the very systems that are meant to guide it, our laws, our regulations, our ethical codes. And those systems, they move incrementally. They move through slow, careful debate and consensus building. It's like a rocket ship versus a glacier. And that fundamental mismatch in speed, well, that's the whole problem right there.
So you might be wondering, why does this gap even exist? What's causing it? To understand that, we have to look at the root cause, which is this core tension between two incredibly powerful and often opposing forces. You've got this relentless drive for innovation pulling in one direction, and the cautious, necessary need for governance pulling in the other. And this slide illustrates that perfectly. It's like we have two clocks, and they are ticking at completely different speeds. The clock of AI advancement? That's all about capability. The main question is, what can this technology do? It's a race to be faster, smarter, more powerful. But the clock of governance is ticking to a different beat. It's all about safety. The question there is, what should this technology do? It's about managing risk and protecting people. So you see, one is built for speed and the other is built for stability. They're just pulling in fundamentally different directions.
And here's where the rubber meets the road, where the incentives of the market really widen that gap. In a competitive world, the pressure is to innovate and get your product out there fast. The rewards for being the first to launch some new AI tool are massive. And in that kind of race, deep ethical reflection, well, it can feel like a speed bump, right? It's not that companies are necessarily evil, it's just that the entire system is designed to reward speed and efficiency. And often, that comes at the expense of caution.
So, what happens? What are the real-world consequences when this gap is just left unchecked? Because this is not just a theoretical problem for academics to debate. It creates a genuinely high-risk environment for every single one of us. This is the point where the abstract idea of an ethics gap starts to have very real, very tangible impacts on people's lives.
And believe me, these aren't abstract risks. Just think about an AI system that's designed to screen job applicants. If that system is trained on biased historical data, it could start unfairly filtering out perfectly qualified candidates from certain backgrounds. And nobody might even notice. And we're rolling out systems like this for hiring, for loan applications, for medical diagnoses, all before we've fully wrestled with the consequences of their errors. An algorithmic mistake isn't like a website crashing. It can cost someone their job, their home, or even their health. And when that happens, the ethics gap creates this fog where accountability just seems to evaporate.
And that fog of accountability leads us to what is maybe the most challenging consequence of the ethics gap, just figuring out who is actually responsible when things go wrong. In most areas of our lives, when harm occurs, there's usually a pretty clear path to determine fault. But with complex AI, that clarity completely vanishes.
It's a tangled web. When a complex AI system causes harm, who do you blame? Is it the programmer who wrote one piece of the code? Is it the company that fed it biased data? The organization that deployed it without doing enough testing? Or maybe it's even the user who just trusted its output. In this kind of network, responsibility gets spread so thin that it practically vanishes, and that leaves the people who are harmed with nowhere to turn.
And that leaves us with this final, absolutely critical question. As these AI systems become more and more autonomous, as they get woven deeper into the fabric of our society, who is ultimately going to be held accountable when they cause harm?
Now, this isn't just an academic debate. It is one of the most significant challenges we face. It's a question that our laws, our companies, and frankly, all of us as a society have to answer. And we have to do it before this ethics gap becomes a chasm that we can no longer bridge.